Next Thursday's nightclub film is Bandolero, featuring James Stewart. Back to tonight now, and the news headlines coming up after the break.
"48 hours. 48 hours to find a sadistic killer.
If you duck the bullet, Kate, I can promise you, you're going down.
I'm looking for a good old boy by the name of Billy Bear.
Never heard of him.
Heard of him now, man?
I gave you 48 hours to come up with something, and the clock's running.
Hard-hitting action in the movie premiere of 48 Hours, 11:05 this Saturday on HTV.
It's all right, I'm a cop.
Down the road great today, did £40 today, did
Do you want one of these, mate? I don't want. You said you wanted it. I don't want one. Do you want it or not? Chance you want. Where you going? One of the toilets. Close the door, will you?
Next time, can't do it any old.
Just a bit, will you? Come, Bill, get a nose feeding.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'm no junkie.
Sharing any needle with anyone can give you AIDS, hepatitis, septicemia, abscess.
George Bush says he won't be rushed into talks with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev after he's sworn in as President of the United States later today. Meanwhile, tributes have been paid to the outgoing President Ronald Reagan. Mrs. Thatcher wrote to thank him for being a great president and a true and perfect gentleman. Washington's inauguration parties are in full swing before Mr. Bush's parade to the White House. Nottingham Forest apparently turned down an offer of a resignation by manager Brian Clough after he lashed out at fans during a pitch invasion. Mr. Clough makes the disclosure in this morning's Sun newspaper, where he's quoted as saying he'd do it all over again. Millions of television viewers saw Mr. Clough hit fans. Police say they'll only bring criminal charges if they receive a formal complaint from one of Mr. Clough's victims. An international consortium headed by Plessey Electronics has abandoned its takeover bid for GEC. GEC shareholders gathered in London to hear from the group's managing director, Lord Weinstock. He fought off the takeover by launching a counter-bid for Plessey.
We've just had a meeting with our shareholders who have given us consent to continue with the acquisition of Plessey. We have to go before the Monopolies Commission and satisfy them that there are no competition elements which are of disadvantage to the country.
Officials from the Test and County Cricket Board are refusing to say which way they'll vote at next week's international conference to discuss a ban on anyone who plays in South Africa. British officials remained silent after discussing their position at the Oval. Several countries are calling for a 4-year ban on cricketers who play in South Africa. If England doesn't agree, a life ban may be imposed. Officials from the South Africa Cricket Board flew in to lobby for British officials to vote against the ban. A book of Psalms found by Egyptian archaeologists is probably the world's oldest book. The manuscript was written around 1600 years ago in ink made from iron. It contains more than 400 pages carefully bound between wooden covers. A small bone carving known as a Key of Life was attached to the book. Experts say it will take several years to translate. That's it, there'll be more news later.
TransWorld Sport at 2:50 tonight previews the impending Super Bowl and also features, believe it or not, elephant soccer. But first it's time for quiz night.
Hi and welcome to Quiz Night, the general knowledge quiz game which challenges the minds of some of the best quiz league teams from all over Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now, if you've been watching the series, you'll know we're into the second round. If you haven't been watching, why not? Tonight, as I said, it is a second round tie. Let's meet those teams. We have teams from Cambridge and from Milton Keynes. The team from Cambridge, the Panton Arms.
Hello, I'm Alan Smith. On my left, Nicole MacLeod. On my right, Dick Jones.
And up against the Panton Arms from Cambridge, Cross Keys from Milton Keynes.
Hello, I'm Paul Flats. On my left, Paul Baines. And on my right, David Milne.
So, those are the teams. On with the competition and round one. It's 100 seconds to each side to answer as many questions as they possibly can. The questions are asked individually for 2 points for a correct answer. If they don't know the answer, they can pass it on to their neighbouring teammate who can pick it up for 1 bonus point. So, we start with the Panton Arms from Cambridge. We start at the end with Dick. 100 seconds for your side, and the time starts now. Which artist's wife and favourite model was Saskia van Uylenburg?
Pass. No idea.
It was Rembrandt. Your question, Alan. Who directed Blow Up and Zabriskie Point?
Antonini.
Is correct. I'll accept that. Antonio Oni. Nick, which comedian who died in 1988 was billed as the Little Waster in the Northeast?
Pass.
Mickey Rooney.
Wrong. It was Bobby Thompson. Your question, Dick. Kefalonia is the largest of which group of Greek islands that includes Corfu?
The Dodecanese.
Is wrong. It's the Ionian. Your question, Alan. Originally, pagodas were temples of which religion?
Shinto.
Wrong. It was Buddhist. Nick. In Britain, a royal pardon is exercised only on whose advice?
The Prime Minister.
Wrong. It's the Home Secretary. Dick. Which rare bird's nest at Lochgarten in Scotland?
The Osprey.
Is correct. Alan. Which organisation to further conservative principles did Lord Randolph Churchill help set up in 1883?
The Reform Society.
Wrong. It's the Primrose League. Your question, Nick. What was the German parliament called when Hitler came to power?
The Reichstag.
Is correct. Dick. Which actor who died in 1942 was nicknamed the Great Profile?
John Barrymore.
Correct. Alan. In which city was Dick Turpin hanged in 1739?
York.
Is the right answer. Nick. In aerodynamics, how do aerostats differ from aerodynes?
Pass.
No.
One's lighter than air, the other's heavier than air. And that's it. Out of time at the end there. No point in even reading the question. But a good score of 10 for the Panton Arms from Cambridge. So it's 100 seconds of questions for Cross Keys from Milton Keynes, starting along with Dave at the end. And your side's 100 seconds starts now. Who led the National Union of Seamen into the 1988 strike?
Pass.
Sam McCluskey.
Correct. And your question, Captain Paul. Which West Indian cricketer earned the nickname Whispering Death from his opponents?
Charlie Griffith.
Wrong. It was Michael Holding. Paul. What is the process of heating milk to about 70 degrees Celsius, then cooling it quickly to destroy bacteria?
Pasteurization.
Is correct. Dave. Who has written a sequence of 12 novels called collectively A Dance to the Music of Time?
Pass.
Pass.
Anthony Poole. And your question, Paul. Arthur William Tedder rose to high rank in which service?
Pass.
Navy.
Wrong. The RAF. Your question, Paul. Which society, founded in 1884, had Bernard Shaw and H.G. Wells amongst its earliest members?
Fabians.
Correct. Dave. In which country was Neil Kinnock held under armed guard at Mutare
Zimbabwe.
Airport? Zimbabwe is correct. Captain Paul. Who directed the film The Last Emperor?
Bernardo Bertolucci.
Is correct. Paul. Who wrote the early Gothic novels The Mysteries of Udolpho and The Italian?
Pass. Mary Shelley.
Wrong. Mrs. Anne Radcliffe. Your question, Dave. What has the European Parliament described as vegelate?
Pass.
Pass.
It's chocolate, too much vegetable fat. Your question, Captain Paul. Who was chairman of the National Coal Board from 1961 to 1971? The chairman of the National Coal Board.
Pass.
No, pass.
Lord Robins. Paul, your question. In which city did the first Rolls-Royce... I'll stop there because we don't have time to finish the question and, in fact, get an answer. It's very close, just 1 point in it on 9 Cross Keys from Milton Keynes. But in the lead after round 1, the Panton Arms from Cambridge with 10. Round 2 and 15 questions for our two sides to battle over this evening. Captain's fingers on the buzzers. Both teams can confer, but they must confer before answering the question. So, both teams ready? 2 points for a correct answer, but this time 1 point away if the wrong answer is given, and then the full question in turn is given across to the opposition. So, fingers on the buzzers, captains, and off we go with 15 questions, starting with this one. Which movie producer married actress Amy Irving? No one in? I'll tell you, it was Steven Spielberg. Question number 2. Which city with a name meaning Hill of Spring was the first capital of Israel? Panton Arms?
Tel Aviv.
Is correct. A China wedding marks how many years of marriage? No one? I'll tell you. Cross keys?
15.
Wrong, it was 20. One away. Clonmel is county town of which Irish county? No one? It was a long way. Tipperary. The islands of Jura and Islay are part of which group? Cross keys.
In the Hebrides.
Correct. In an electrical circuit plan, the letter Z refers to what? No one in? No one? I'll tell you, it's impedance. What botanical name is Kentucky's official nickname? Panton Arms.
The Bluegrass State.
Is correct. Which illness common in childhood is called varicella medically? Anyone in? Cross keys?
Mumps.
Wrong. I can, sorry, pass it across. Panton Arms, can you pick it up?
Measles.
Wrong, it was chicken pox. Just after the halfway stage, which colonel led his second coup in Fiji in September 1987, then declared it a republic? Cross keys.
Rambuca.
Correct, Colonel Rambuca. 5 to go. Which century is referred to in Italian art history as the Quattrocento, during which Donatello and Bruno Leschi worked? Panton Arms.
14th century.
Is wrong. Pass it across the cross keys, that's one away.
15th.
Is correct, the 1400s, of course, Quattrocento. Which Victorian anthologist compiled the golden treasury of songs and lyrics? Cross keys.
Palgrave.
Is correct, Francis Turner Palgrave. Ilium is the Latin name for which ancient... Panton Arms.
Troy.
Is correct. Impatiens Wallerana is the scientific name for which popular houseplant? Cross keys.
Busy Lizzie.
Is correct. Last but one, who had a top 10 hit in 1988 with Wild World? No one in. I have to tell you, it was Maxi Priest. The final question, which traveller was knighted with Sir Francis Drake's sword in 1967 at Greenwich? Panton Arms.
Alec Rose.
Wrong. One away and across the cross keys.
Sir Francis Chichester.
Sir Francis Chichester, you pick up that one bonus mark. So the end of the round, 14 to the Panton Arms from Cambridge, but out in the lead by 3 with 17. It's the cross keys from Milton Keynes. Round 3, it's the specialist round. Each team has nominated a specialist. They will answer 5 questions on their specialist subject, 3 points for each correct answer. However, if they fail to give an answer, get it wrong, it goes across to their opposition. So, Paul from Cross Keys and Milton Keynes, he'll be going answering questions on films. But first, though, from the Panton Arms in Cambridge, it's Dick. And this time, Dick's specialist subject is history. So, let's put the spotlight on Dick. 5 questions for you, 3 points for each correct answer. And your first question. During the siege of which city in 1521 was Ignatius Loyola hit by a cannonball going on to found the Jesuit order?
Pamplona.
Is correct, the siege of Pamplona. Question number 2. What did Marshal George Wade build in Scotland in the 18th century to help expedite military control of the country?
The Great Military Road.
Correct. Good roads. I would also have accepted bridges. Who controlled the city of Heraklion on Crete before the Turks captured it in 1669?
The Knights of St. John of Jerusalem.
Is wrong. Paul, can you pick it up for cross keys?
The Greeks.
Is wrong. The answer was Venice. Your fourth question. Who formed the Society of United Irishmen in 1791 and sought French help against English rule, but was taken prisoner and killed himself in prison in 1798?
Wolfe Tone.
Yes, Theobald Wolfe Tone. And your final question, what do we usually call the war fought between Britain and China from 1839 to 1842?
The Opium War.
Is correct. That means you've scored 4 out of 5, gives you 12. We add those into the totals. It's 26 for the Pantonomes from Cambridge, 17 for Cross Keys from Milton Keynes. That seems a fairly appropriate place to take a quick break, but don't forget, join us again when Paul will be answering questions on his specialist subject, and tonight they are films. So join us again very shortly on Quiz Night.
It is him.
Never.
I tell you, it's him.
He's too young.
Well, everyone was young once. Even you.
It's not him.
It is. I can tell by the eyes. If I'm right, you make the coffee.
Done.
I'll have a biscuit with mine.
TV Times, because there's more to TV than you read in the newspapers.
How many times a day do you upset your mother-in-law? How many times a day do you knock your children around or frighten a pedestrian out of his wits? How often do you lose half your shopping? Late and fierce braking is the sign of a bad driver and may confuse other drivers who then have to brake hard. Learn to drive like a professional. Think ahead and spread your braking gently.
Welcome back to Quiz Night. The score is standing at 17 for Cross Keys, Milton Keynes, 26 to the Pantonomes from Cambridge. We're in the middle of round 3. Just before the break, we had Dick from the Pantonomes competing on his specialist subject, which this evening was history. So now it's the turn of Cross Keys, Milton Keynes, and their specialist is Paul, answering questions on films. So let's put the spotlight on Paul and remind everyone 3 points for a correct answer, 5 questions in total to answer. And of course, if you fail to answer, they can be passed across to Dick. So, your 5 questions start with this one, Paul. Which actor's first featured role was in Esther Waters, and whose first volume of autobiography was A Postilion Struck by Lightning? I need an answer, Paul. I know it's there, but
no,
it's not coming. So, Dick, can you pick it up?
Dirk Bogarde.
Dirk Bogarde is correct for 3. Paul knew the answer, but just obviously contestants under a lot of pressure here in the studio. So, second question. What was the 1970 sequel to In the Heat of the Night, also starring Sidney Poitier, and was followed by The Organisation?
It's not In the Heat of the City.
It wasn't.
No.
Pantonomes, Dick?
I don't know.
You don't know. The answer was They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. Again, you knew it. Not to worry. Question number 3 for you. Which Polish star of the silent screen was born Barbara Apollonia Chalopiec?
Lupoli. Is it Lupoli?
It wasn't. I can pass that across to the Pantonomes for Dick.
Was it Polonegri?
Polonegri is correct. Well picked up. Question number 4. Who won the Best Director Oscar for Rocky, awarded in 1976? Need to press you for an answer, Paul.
Total guess, Sylvester Stallone.
A good guess, but a wrong one, unfortunately. Pantonomes, Dick?
Steven Spielberg?
No, it was John G. Avildsen. And the final question for you on films. Which recent film about women on an outdoor survival course starred Julie Waters? Julie Walters.
I saw it as well. I'm sorry, it's completely gone.
No. Dick?
No idea.
Nope. 3 bonus marks go begging because the answer was she'll be wearing pink pajamas. So Not the best of specialist rounds for you then again, but let me remind you, our contestants this evening are under immense pressure here. So at the end of that round, Cross Keys, Milton Keynes on 17, but out in front with 32, Panton Arms from Cambridge. It's round number 4, and the round that our contestants love to hate. It's the specialist round, but with the mystery. 5 envelopes, each containing 5 questions on a specialist subject. We don't know what the specialist subjects are. Could be anything, radio, comedy, history, you name it. They could well be in here. So let's go across to Cross Keys, Milton Keynes. Captain Paul, pick a number or pick an envelope for me.
Number 1.
Number 1. Was this lucky for you the last time? I can't remember.
Yes, it was.
It was, right, okay.
Ish.
Number 1, and it's on Christmas. So 3 points for each correct answer. Stay alert though, Panton Arms, because you can pick them up for 3 bonus points as well if we don't get the right answer from Cross Keys. So 5 questions you can confer, answering through Paul. And question number 1 in Christmas. Which director of the Victoria and Albert Museum commissioned the first printed Christmas cards in the 1840s?
We go for the top one.
Go on,
Prince
Paul.
Albert.
Prince Albert is wrong. Panton Arms, can you pick it up?
Well, we only have one suggestion here, and that's Mr. Tuck.
Is wrong. The answer was Henry Cole. Question number 2 for you. In which book, published in the 1890s, written by 2 brothers, does the central character say, "I would gladly give 10 shillings to find out who sent me the insulting Christmas card I received this morning"?
Two brothers.
Oh.
I have to hurry you, lads.
Give me the book. Give me the book. No. Pass.
No. Cross to Panton Arms. Alan?
Diary of a Nobody.
Diary of a Nobody is correct, written by George and Whedon Grossmith. So pick up 3 bonus points there. Question number 3 for Cross Keys. Who discovered the province of Natal on Christmas Day in 1497? Who discovered the province of Natal or Natal, depending on which way you want to say it, N-A-T-A-L, on Christmas Day in 1497?
I need the first name. You sure about the second one? Sure about the surname?
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah? What about that?
A great deal of conferring going on.
Huh?
Could result in blows between Dave and Paul, but...
Go for yours, yeah? You're better than me. Yeah?
No, good.
Yeah?
No need to fight, lads, just give me an answer.
Diaz.
Is wrong. We punch up round behind the studio after this. Panton Arms, Alan, can you
knocks
pick it
out
up?
one of our possibilities, so we'll try Vasco da Gama.
Vasco da Gama is correct, and you pick up 3 bonus points. Question number 4 in Christmas for Cross Keys. In the 1730s, who composed the Christmas oratorio containing 6 cantatas? In the 1730s, who composed the Christmas oratorio containing 6 cantatas?
Well, that seems likely.
Likely as anyone else.
Huh?
Can't be anybody else.
I think can't. No.
On Christmas.
Need to press you.
Handel.
Is wrong.
No.
Panton Arms.
Johann Sebastian Bach.
Well said, Alan, and the correct answer. Another 3 bonus points. And your final question on Christmas. To which saint is the fountain mentioned in Good King Wenceslas dedicated? Almost got a song from him.
Sure?
Yeah.
St Agnes.
St Agnes is correct, and that picks you up 3 there at the end. Well done. At the end of that round, that puts your team total up to 20. So the Panton Arms Cambridge, looking good at the moment, and 41. Pick an envelope.
Well, last time we did well with 5, so we'll go for number 3 this time.
Right. Okay. This time, your questions are on the Grand National.
Thank you, Alan.
Any good in horse racing?
Well,
we'll
if you're
find
talking
out.
about winners.
5 questions for you, 3 points for each correct answer. Question number 1. Who rode the winner of the 1988 race, Rhyme and Reason?
Bob Champion.
is wrong. Cross keys. Need to hurry because it is on the bonus. Could get you 3 points.
No, pass.
No, Brendan Powell. Question number 2. Over what distance is the Grand National Run?
4.5 miles.
4.5 miles is correct. You pick up 3 for that. And question number 3. Who's the only jockey to have won the National 5 times?
Fred Winter.
Is wrong. Cross keys, chance for 3 here. No.
Richards?
No, it was George Stevens between 1856 and 1870. Just a little while ago. Your 4th question. What was the first Grand National winner trained by a woman? Looking for the name of the horse here. The first Grand National winner trained by a woman.
Corbière.
Is correct. 1983, and that was trained by Jenny Pittman. And your final question, Red Drum won 3 times, ridden by Brian Fletcher in 1973 and 1974. But which jockey was riding Red Drum in 1977?
Tommy Stack.
Is correct, and that gets you another 3 points. So at the end of that, 3 correct, that gives you 9. Add those into the total. So at the end of the round, it's Cross Keys, Milton Keynes 20, but from Cambridge, the Panton Arms in the lead with 50. The 5th and final round, and so many points can be won and lost in this round, as has happened in many of the other programmes in this series. What happens is, it's fingers on the buzzers. Everyone has the finger on their own personal buzzer this time. We're going to have 100 seconds of questions. It's 2 points for a correct answer. However, give the wrong answer, and this time it's 2 points away. So both teams clear on that. Obviously don't buzz unless you definitely know the answer. And the score is standing 20 to 50 in favour of the Panton Arms. So, but a lot can be won, as I said, in this round. So here we go. The final 100 seconds of quiz night starts with this question. Syngman Rhee was president of where before 1960? I'll have to tell you. Cross keys, Paul.
Burma.
Is wrong. South Korea, 208. Which Rolls-Royce engine named after a bird powered the Spitfire aircraft? Cross keys, Dave.
The Merlin.
Is correct. What's the Latin name for your shoulder blade? Cross keys, Paul.
Scapula.
Correct. What's the principal house belonging to the Lascelles family near Leeds? No one in? I have to tell you, Harwood House. Barbara Villiers, Duchess of Cleveland, was which king's mistress? It's Panton Arms Dick.
Charles II.
Correct. Anvers is the French name for which city? Cross keys, Dave.
Antwerp.
Correct. When an injection is referred to as an IV, what do those letters? It's Panton Arms Alan.
Intravenous.
Correct, or into a vein. In the Middle Ages, what did a Loriner or a Lorimer make? Panton Arms Dick.
Reins and saddle.
Yes, that's right. Bit spurs and other trappings of horses. Which Scots river flows through Perth and past Dundee? It's Panton Arms and it's Nick.
The Tay.
Is correct. Who wrote Tamburlaine the Great, a play in 2 parts? It's Panton Arms Dick.
Christopher Marlowe.
Is correct. Which Spaniard composed the music for the ballet The Three-Cornered Hat? Panton Arms Dick.
De Falla.
Correct. Manuel. Who was the first Director General of the BBC and... Cross keys, Dave.
Reith.
Correct. Lord Reith. Which animal is a domesticated polecat? Panton Arms Nick.
Ferret.
Is correct. Which country has a meat-packing port called Freibentus? Cross keys, Dave.
Argentina.
Wrong. It was Uruguay, and also out of time at the end there. Still not to worry. Well done to both teams. Cross keys from Milton Keynes on 24, but tonight's winners with 64, the Panton Arms from Cambridge. So, commiserations to Cross Keys from Milton Keynes. You played very well, though. And, of course, congratulations to Panton Arms from Cambridge. We'll be meeting up with you again in just a few more weeks. But that's it. Thank you for your company. That's it for tonight. Till the next night, it's good night from Quiz Night.
The James Bond season continues this Saturday on HTV, with Roger Moore as 007 in Live and Let Die. Roger Moore tastes an exotic cocktail shaken but not stirred in Live and Let Die, this Saturday at 6:45 on HTV.
I've always preferred Sean Connery myself, but there you go. Actually, Saturday looks like a very good night on the box, because at 11:05, the late film is 48 Hours, starring Eddie Murphy, and Nightclub will be hot on its tail at 12:50 with The Twilight Zone. Now, all the latest TransWorld sport.
On TransWorld Sport this week, we travel to Acapulco, Mexico to meet some of sport's bravest men.
We pay tribute to the man who once scored this goal. European Footballer of the Year, Marco van Basten.
Winning this prize is just fantastic. It's something to treasure for life. I'm very proud of it.
As always, we bring you the world's top sports news, boxing from the States.
Tennis from Australia, a trophy for the Czechs.
Ski jumping from the Alps, where Clough gets off to a flyer.
And World Championship rallying from Sweden, as Stig gets into a spin.
We travel the world to feature the best on the ice.
And meet the Super Bowl stars en route to Miami.
We visit the stadium that was simply made for tennis.
And cross the deserts of Africa as the heat takes its toll. First, our sporting question mark.
The magazine France Football has been choosing its European Player of the Year for many seasons. Its recipients have included some of the greatest names in soccer. But who won the first ever Ballon d'Or? Which player was the first European Footballer of the Year? The answer later in the program. First, the week's major sporting headlines.
The Cincinnati Bengals reach Super Bowl 23, where they'll meet the San Francisco 49ers in Miami.
In college football, they've already crowned the champions, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Atlantic City and Jeong Don-hwan of Korea faced Anthony Hembrick of the United States. Hembrick gets straight down to business in this light middleweight contest. Hembrick was the captain of the United States Olympic team, but was disqualified for turning up late for a bout. In Atlantic City, he gets his revenge, winning the decision.